Good morning, my dear friends. Or should I say, very good morning? Because today I am going to talk about a time of the day when most people are not even thinking about waking up. They are not even in dreams, they are in deep sleep. Yes, I am talking about 4 a.m. Now I can already imagine the thoughts running in your mind. Swamiji, at 4 a.m. I am very spiritual. I am deeply meditating on my pillow. Alas, yes, my friends, the bed is soft, the blanket is warm, and the snooze button is very attractive. But let me tell you this, if you win the battle with the blanket, you will begin to win the battles of life. At 4 a.m., the world outside is silent, but the world inside you begins to speak. Silence has a language of its own, and if you learn to listen, you will discover things about yourself that were always hidden beneath the noise of daily life. Most people are afraid of silence because it feels unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. They always need music, television, conversations, or social media to fill that emptiness. But silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the space where the mind finds rest, where the heart feels peace, and where the soul hears its own voice. Imagine your phone. Every day it keeps receiving notifications, messages, and calls. After a while, the battery drains and the memory gets full. What do? You put it on charge, and sometimes you even switch it off to reset it. In the same way, our minds get filled with endless notifications, news, gossip, deadlines, responsibilities, social media feeds. If we never switch off, if we never recharge, we eventually feel exhausted, anxious, and disconnected. That is why the silence of 4 a.m. is not just a time, it is a medicine. It recharges your mental battery and resets your emotional memory. Think about how nature works. Flowers don't bloom in the middle of chaos. They bloom when the environment is right. The sun doesn't rise in the noise. It rises slowly, gently, quietly. Even a baby sleeps peacefully in silence, not in the middle of traffic. Nature teaches us that growth and beauty often happen in silence. So when you wake up at 4 a.m., you align yourself with the rhythm of nature. The stillness of the world around you allows the stillness inside you to blossom. Let me give you a simple example. If you throw a stone into a pond during the day when children are swimming, people are washing clothes, and the wind is strong, the water is too disturbed to show you a reflection. But if you go early in the morning, when the pond is calm, you will see your face clearly. Life is exactly like that. During the day, your mind is disturbed by hundreds of activities, and you cannot see who you really are. But at 4 a.m., when the pond of the mind is calm, you can reflect, you can understand, you can see yourself clearly. That is the power of silence. Now, some may say, but Swamiji, I can find silence at night too. Why specifically 4 a.m.? It is true, the night is also quiet. But the silence of 4 a.m. is different. It is not the silence of exhaustion, it is the silence of freshness. At night, people are winding down, tired and drained. But at 4 a.m., you are not carrying yesterday anymore. You are standing at the doorway of a brand new day. That silence is not heavy, it is light, hopeful, and full of possibility. If you have ever walked outside at 4 a.m., you will notice the difference. The stars are still shining, the air is crisp, and the birds slowly begin to stir. There is a sense of newness. The silence is not empty, it is alive. It is as if the whole universe is whispering, here is another chance, a new day, a new beginning. And if you can sit in that silence, Even for a few minutes, you will feel gratitude for life itself. One young professional once told me, Swamiji, I don't have time for myself. From morning till night, my life belongs to my office, my boss, my clients, my family, my responsibilities. Where is the time for me? I told him, that is exactly why you must wake up at 4 a.m., because those hours are yours. Nobody calls you, nobody emails you, nobody asks anything of you. That silence belongs to you. That time belongs to you. It is a gift you can give yourself. In that silence, you can reconnect with your own dreams and goals. You can ask yourself, am I living the life I want? Am I becoming the person I want to be? What changes must I make? Questions like these cannot be answered in the middle of a noisy office or a crowded street. They need the silence of 4 a.m. And silence doesn't mean doing nothing. Silence means doing something that connects you deeper with yourself. For some, it may be meditation. For others, it may be prayer. For some, it may be writing down their thoughts in a diary. For others, it may be simply sitting quietly and breathing. The activity is less important than the attitude. The important thing is that you give yourself permission to pause, to breathe, to listen, and to be. If you make this a habit, you will notice changes in your life. You will feel calmer in situations that used to irritate you. You will make decisions more clearly because your mind is not cluttered. You will even smile more because when your mornings are peaceful, your whole day carries that peace. My dear friends, silence is not an absence of sound, it is the presence of clarity. Silence is not the absence of people, it is the presence of yourself. And the silence of 4 a.m. is the best silence you can ever experience. So tomorrow, when your alarm rings, instead of seeing it as a punishment, see it as an invitation. An invitation to step into silence, to meet yourself, to meet your soul. Because while the world sleeps, your soul waits for you. And when you answer that call, life begins to change. Every morning, before we face the challenges of the world, we face the simplest yet toughest battle, the battle with the blanket. It is warm, it is comforting, and it whispers in your ear, just 5 more minutes. But those 5 minutes often stretch into 30 minutes, then an hour, and suddenly your morning is gone. Life is like that too. Every great opportunity often comes disguised as a small, inconvenient choice. And the first choice of your day is whether to rise or to remain. Think of a soldier. Before he can conquer the battlefield outside, he must first conquer the fear inside. Similarly, before we conquer our professional goals, personal dreams, or life's difficulties, we must first conquer that soft, sweet, but dangerous enemy, the blanket. It is not the blanket itself, but what it represents: comfort, laziness, and the temptation to delay. Winning this small battle trains you to win the bigger battles of life. Let me share a simple story. A young man once told me, Swamiji, I want to become successful, but every morning I keep losing to my bed. I laughed and said, my dear friend, if you cannot win over your pillow, how will you win over your problems? He smiled, but it struck him deeply. Because the truth is this: discipline is built not in the grand moments, but in the small ones. Getting out of bed when you said you would. That is the first victory of the day. And that victory sets the tone for everything else that follows. If you wake up late, rushing, skipping breakfast, running to work, checking your phone in panic, you begin your day in defeat. Your mind feels scattered, your energy feels drained, and you spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. But if you wake up early, at the time you promised yourself, you begin the day with self-respect. You feel like a leader, not a follower of circumstances. You begin the day by proving to yourself that your will is stronger than your weakness. And when you start with victory, you carry that energy into every task you do. Let's look at daily life. Imagine two people. The first wakes up at 18:30, late for work, rushing through a shower, skipping breakfast, and stuck in traffic. By the time he reaches office, he is already stressed, irritated, and unfocused. The second person wakes up at 4 a.m. He spends time in silence, reads something uplifting, does a little exercise, plans his day, eats a healthy breakfast, and reaches work calmly. Tell me, who will perform better? Who will handle challenges with more patience? Who will live with more balance? The answer is obvious. Winning the morning is winning the day. And winning the morning is not about hours alone. It is about attitude. When you get out of bed at 4 a.m., you are telling your mind, I am in charge, not my comfort. That mental shift is powerful because every day life will tempt you with comfort zones. Take the easy path, delay the hard work, ignore the discipline. And every time you say no to that temptation, you grow stronger. The bed is just the training ground. If you can say no to your blanket, you can say no to procrastination, laziness, and distraction in every other part of your life. There is a beautiful truth: comfort never produces greatness. Think of an athlete. He must wake up before sunrise, train hard, sweat, and sacrifice comfort to reach the top. Think of a musician. She must practice daily for hours, sometimes when her friends are relaxing or sleeping. Think of a leader. He must rise early to plan, to think, to prepare. Success is built on discipline, and discipline is tested first thing in the morning. Now, many of you may be thinking, but Swamiji, isn't sleep also important? Yes, absolutely. Rest is essential. But oversleeping is not rest, it is escape. A rested body feels fresh after 67 hours of sleep. What keeps us in bed longer is not tiredness, but habit. And habits can be changed. If you sleep earlier, your body will naturally wake up earlier. If you train your mind for a few days, it will adapt. But remember, the first step is always the hardest. The first push against the blanket requires the most willpower. After that, it becomes easier. Let me give you another example. Imagine you are carrying a heavy bucket of water uphill. At the beginning, it feels impossible. But as you keep walking, your muscles warm up, your rhythm sets in, and it becomes manageable. Similarly, getting out of bed feels hard in the first few seconds. But once you stand up, wash your face, and move, you feel awake, alive, and even grateful that you resisted the temptation. That's why the great wisdom says, if you win the morning, you win the day, because mornings shape mindset, and mindset shapes destiny. If your first act of the day is strength, your next acts will follow that same energy. And if your first act of the day is weakness, you carry that weakness into the rest of your day. So tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings, remember this: it is not just an alarm clock ringing. It is life giving you a choice. Stay in comfort or rise to growth. Remain in dreams or step into reality. Lose the battle with the blanket or win the battle with yourself. And when you win, you don't just win the morning, you win your day and slowly you win your life. Every great success you see in the world today began as a small, quiet seed. A giant tree that gives shade to thousands started as something so tiny you could hold it on your fingertip. The skyscraper that touches the clouds began as a drawing on paper. Even a human being who achieves greatness once started as a fragile infant, unable to even walk. Growth always begins small. And more importantly, it begins in silence, away from the eyes of the world. When we look at successful people, we often admire the fruit, the fame, the achievements, the recognition, but we forget the roots. And roots are always hidden underground. Nobody claps for the roots, nobody takes pictures of the roots, nobody celebrates the roots. Yet without roots, there can be no tree. In the same way, the seeds of success in our own lives are planted in quiet hours, when nobody is watching, when there is no applause, when there is no recognition. Think of a student preparing for exams. On the day results come, everyone praises the student who stood first. Parents proudly share the report card, relatives congratulate, and teachers applaud. But where was the real success born? It was not born on the day of results. It was born on those silent nights when the students sat alone at the desk, resisting distractions, focusing on books, and doing what others were not willing to do. That silent effort was the seed. The report card was only the fruit. In the same way, an athlete wins medals in stadiums filled with cheering crowds. But the medal was not won in the stadium. It was won in those early mornings of practice, when nobody was watching, when the track was empty, and when it was just the athlete and their determination. Success is never an overnight miracle. It is always a silent process of sowing seeds. But the challenge with seeds is that they don't show results immediately. You plant them in the soil, you water them, you give them sunlight, and for days or weeks, nothing seems to happen. People may even laugh at you. They may say, "Why are you wasting your time? Nothing is growing." But if you have patience, if you trust the process, one day the first green shoot will appear. Slowly, steadily, that seed will become a plant, and then one day a tree. Life is exactly like that. Many times, when you work on yourself, waking up early, reading, meditating, building good habits, you may feel that nothing is changing. But inside, your roots are growing. And soon, the results will come. Noise is attractive. People love to show off achievements, post updates, and seek attention. But noise is temporary. Seeds don't grow in noise, they grow in quiet soil. In your life too, do not worry about showing the world your progress immediately. Focus on planting your seeds in silence. Focus on your discipline, your character, your mindset. One day, when the time is right, the world will see your tree. Let me share a simple daily life example. Imagine two people start going to the gym. One spends more time taking selfies, posting on social media, and telling everyone, "Look, I'm working out." The other quietly focuses on the workout, day after day, without announcing it. After 6 months, who will show real results? The one who planted seeds of discipline in silence. Because noise can impress people for a moment, but only discipline will impress life permanently. The same principle applies in relationships. A loving marriage is not built on grand public gestures once a year. It is built on small, silent acts of kindness every day, listening, caring, supporting. Those quiet seeds of love grow into a strong bond. Even in friendships, the loudest friend is not always the most loyal. The loyal one is the person who quietly stands by you in your toughest times. Seeds of loyalty and care are always sown in silence. One young man once told me, Swamiji, I want to change my life, but I feel small. My dreams are big, but my actions seem too tiny. I told him, never underestimate the power of a seed. The mighty banyan tree was once a small seed. Don't worry about how small your actions seem. Worry about whether you are planting them daily. Because growth is not about size, it is about consistency. Every morning you wake up early, you are planting a seed. Every time you read a good book, instead of scrolling your phone, you are planting a seed. Every time you choose patience over anger, you are planting a seed. And one day, these small seeds will grow into a forest of success, peace, and fulfillment in your life. So, my dear friends, remember this. Don't rush the process. Don't seek applause too soon. Don't get discouraged if results are invisible. Just keep planting. The world may not notice your roots, but when your tree stands tall, they will all see the fruits. And always remember, the noise of the world may distract people, but it is the silence of seeds that creates destiny. There are 24 hours in a day, but not all hours are equal. Some are noisy, filled with distractions, demands, and responsibilities. Some are ordinary, passing by without notice. But there is 1 hour, my dear friends, that is truly sacred. It is the hour before the world wakes up, the hour around 4 a.m., when silence surrounds you and clarity visits you. How you use this hour can determine how you use your life. Most people wake up late and jump straight into action. The alarm rings at 7 or 8, and immediately they check their phones, read messages, scroll through notifications, and rush into the chaos of the day. The mind, like a sponge, absorbs that noise first thing in the morning, and then the whole day feels rushed and restless. But imagine instead that you wake up at 4 a.m. There are no messages waiting, no traffic outside, no urgent calls. There is only you and the silence. That silence is not empty, it is filled with possibilities. If you use this hour wisely, it becomes the foundation of your day and eventually the foundation of your destiny. Think about a builder constructing a house. He doesn't start by decorating the walls or arranging furniture. He begins with the foundation. If the foundation is strong, the house will last for years. If the foundation is weak, the house may look beautiful for a while, but will collapse in time. In the same way, this sacred hour at 4 a.m. is the foundation of your day. If you build it well, with prayer, meditation, reading, journaling, or planning, the rest of your day stands firm. But if you skip it, the day may look busy, but it will feel unstable. Prayer at 4 a.m. is powerful because it connects you with something higher than yourself. When the world is asleep, you can close your eyes, fold your hands, and speak to the divine with no distractions. In that silence, your heart becomes lighter, your worries shrink, and your gratitude grows. Prayer is not about asking for things, it is about remembering that you are never alone. It gives you strength to face challenges with faith instead of fear. Meditation is equally powerful. In the early hours, the mind is like still water. When you meditate, you are not fighting with too many thoughts. You can sit quietly, breathe deeply, and become aware of your own inner self. Meditation sharpens focus, reduces stress, and gives peace. Just 10 or 15 minutes can set the tone for your whole day. Imagine walking into your office after starting your morning with meditation. You will be calmer, more patient, and less affected by negativity around you. For those who love learning, reading at 4 a.m. is magical. Your mind is fresh, free of distractions, and able to absorb knowledge like a sponge. Reading something uplifting, a spiritual book, an inspiring biography, or even a few pages of wisdom, fills your mind with positivity. What you read in the morning often stays with you the whole day. If you fill your mind with negativity, you carry stress. If you fill it with wisdom, you carry strength. That is why 4 a.m. reading is not just learning, it is planting thoughts that will guide your actions. Journaling is another beautiful practice. At 4 a.m., with pen and paper in hand, you can write down your thoughts, your dreams, your fears, and your gratitude. Writing helps you untangle the knots in your mind. Sometimes we don't even realize what we are feeling until we write it down. Journaling brings clarity, and clarity brings confidence. Many great thinkers and leaders kept journals, not for others, but for themselves. It was their way of organizing the chaos of the mind. And then comes planning. At 4 a.m., you can look at the day ahead and decide how you will live it. Not just what tasks you will do, but what kind of person you will be. You can plan not only meetings and deadlines, but also moments of kindness, patience, and growth. When you plan your day in silence, you don't live by accident, you live by design. You are not reacting to circumstances, you are responding with intention. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two drivers starting a long journey. One just gets in the car and drives without a map, hoping he will reach the right place. The other spends 10 minutes studying the road, setting the GPS, and preparing fuel and supplies. Who will reach safely and with less stress? The second driver. Planning in the sacred hour is like setting your GPS for the day. It reduces confusion, saves energy, and increases confidence. Some may say, "But Swamiji, I don't have time for all of this." My friends, it is not about doing everything. Even if you choose just 1 or 2 practices, 10 minutes of prayer, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of reading, you will feel the difference. The sacred hour is not about quantity, it is about quality. It is about doing something that strengthens your spirit before the world demands your energy. The truth is, if you don't own your mornings, your day will own you. If you don't decide how to spend your first hour, the world will decide for you. And when the world decides, it will fill your mind with stress, urgency, and distraction. But when you decide, you fill it with peace, purpose, and direction. So tomorrow morning, when you wake at 4 a.m., don't think of it as just another hour. Think of it as your sacred appointment with yourself. Guard it. Value it. Protect it. Because how you spend that hour will decide how you spend your day, and how you spend your days will decide how you spend your life. The human mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it, that is what will grow. If you plant flowers, you will see beauty. If you plant weeds, you will see chaos. And if you do not plant anything, weeds will still find a way to take over. In the same way, whatever you feed your mind first thing in the morning will shape your entire day. That is why feeding the mind positively at 4 a.m. is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Most people wake up and immediately pick up their phones. The first thing they see is either the news full of fear and negativity, or social media full of comparisons, or messages filled with demands, and they wonder why their day feels heavy, stressful, and restless. What you consume is what you become. If you feed your mind with junk in the morning, your mind will carry that junk throughout the day. But if you feed it with wisdom, gratitude, and positivity, your day will flow with energy, clarity, and peace. Think of your mind like a glass of clean water. If you drop a little ink into it, the whole glass becomes cloudy. If you drop a little honey, the whole glass becomes sweet. The first thing you put into your mind in the morning is like that drop. It colors your entire day. Let me share a simple example. Two friends wake up at the same time. One opens his phone and reads the news: accidents, corruption, disasters, arguments. Immediately, his heart feels heavy. He walks into the office already worried and irritable. The other friend opens a book of wisdom, reads a page about patience and gratitude, and closes his eyes to reflect on it. When he goes to the office, he carries that calmness and perspective with him. The situations may be the same, but the way they respond is completely different because the input they gave their minds was different. Just like we carefully choose what we eat for our body, we must carefully choose what we feed our mind. Imagine someone eating oily junk food every morning and expecting to feel energetic. Impossible. In the same way, if you feed your mind negativity every morning, you cannot expect to feel joyful, focused, or kind. The quality of your day depends on the quality of your first thoughts. This is why the hour of 4 a.m. is so powerful. It is like a blank page. Nothing has been written on it yet. If you fill it with wisdom, it becomes a book of success. If you leave it blank or fill it with noise, the day becomes scattered. That is why saints, leaders, and thinkers have always emphasized starting the day with positive input. It sets the tone for everything else. Let me tell you another story. A businessman once complained to me, "Swamiji, my days are full of stress. I don't understand why I feel so restless from the very beginning." I asked him, "What is the first thing you do when you wake up?" He said, "I check emails." I smiled and said, "That's the problem. You are starting your day by carrying the weight of other people's expectations. Instead, start by filling your mind with something uplifting. Then you will have the strength to deal with emails, calls, and challenges." A few weeks later, he told me, "Swamiji, you were right. When I replaced my morning emails with 10 minutes of reading and gratitude, my whole day became lighter." It doesn't have to be complicated. Feeding the mind positively can be as simple as reading a few verses from a spiritual text, listening to an inspiring podcast, writing 3 things you are grateful for, or even sitting silently and repeating an affirmation like, "Today, I will remain calm and kind." These small seeds of positivity multiply through the day. Think of a car. If you put in dirty fuel, the engine will cough, stop, and fail. But if you put in clean fuel, the car will run smoothly. Your mind is your vehicle through life. The first fuel you put in it in the morning determines how far and how smoothly you can travel through the day. Even science today agrees with this wisdom. Psychologists say that the first 10 minutes after waking up are the most impressionable. Whatever you feed your mind then sinks deeply into your subconscious. If those 10 minutes are spent on stress, and comparison, you carry that heaviness subconsciously. If they are spent on peace and positivity, you carry that strength subconsciously. So, my dear friends, ask yourself, what do I want to carry today? Worry or wisdom? Stress or strength? Comparison or confidence? The choice is always yours. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, pause before you touch your phone. Take those golden minutes and feed your mind with something that uplifts you. Read a page, reflect in silence, or simply breathe in gratitude. Let your first thoughts be nourishing, not draining. Because when you feed your body right, you feel healthy. When you feed your relationships right, you feel loved. And when you feed your mind right, you feel alive. The day is shaped by the morning, and the morning is shaped by your first thoughts. Feed them wisely, feed them positively, and you will discover that life itself tastes sweeter. Every human being loves comfort. A soft bed, a cozy blanket, a little extra sleep. A life without effort? Who wouldn't want that? But if we think deeply, we will realize that comfort never built anyone's character. Comfort never created greatness. Comfort never shaped leaders. Discipline did. The difference between a successful life and a wasted life often comes down to one simple choice: whether we choose discipline or comfort in the crucial moments of our day. Let us reflect for a moment. Imagine two roads in front of you. One is smooth, easy, and requires no effort. The other is steep, challenging, and requires sweat and perseverance. The comfortable road feels pleasant in the beginning, but where does it lead? To weakness, laziness, and regret. The road of discipline feels hard in the beginning, but where does it lead? To strength, respect, and fulfillment. Both roads are available to us every day, and our choices decide our destiny. Think of a student. The comfort of scrolling social media is always more tempting than opening a difficult textbook. But when exam results come, comfort cannot save them, only discipline will. Similarly, an athlete may feel tempted to sleep in a little longer rather than train. But when the day of competition arrives, comfort will betray them. Only discipline will carry them across the finish line. Discipline is nothing but choosing what you want most over what you want now. Comfort is short-lived. Discipline is long-lasting. Comfort gives you pleasure for a moment. Discipline gives you respect for a lifetime. One young man once told me, "Swamiji, waking up at 4 a.m. is too uncomfortable for me. I just want to sleep more." I smiled and asked him, "Do you think a butterfly enjoys breaking out of its cocoon? Do you think a seed enjoys breaking through the soil? Do you think muscles enjoy the pain of exercise? No. But without that discomfort, there is no growth. Discipline is that cocoon breaking moment. It feels uncomfortable, but it transforms you. Let me give you a simple daily life example. Imagine you want to get fit. The comfortable choice is to eat fast food, stay in bed, and avoid workouts. But what happens after months? Your body feels weak, energy is low, and health problems arise. Now imagine choosing discipline, waking up early, exercising daily, eating balanced meals. It feels tough in the moment, but after months, your body feels strong, your energy is high, and your confidence shines. The difference is simple. Comfort gave temporary pleasure, discipline gave lasting strength. The truth is, comfort is addictive. The more you give into it, the more it demands. The more you choose it, the harder it becomes to break free. But discipline is also addictive. The more you practice it, the stronger you feel. The more you live by it, the more natural it becomes. The first day of waking up early feels hard. The second day still feels hard, but slowly the body and mind adjust. What once felt like a burden becomes your strength. Another young woman once shared with me, Swamiji, I admire people who meditate daily, but I don't have the willpower to sit still. I told her, discipline is not about willpower, it is about small, consistent choices. Sit for 5 minutes today, 7 minutes tomorrow, 10 minutes next week. Slowly you will grow, and indeed, a few months later she said, Swamiji, meditation is no longer a struggle, it has become my comfort. See, when you embrace discipline, one day discipline itself becomes your comfort. History is full of examples. Great leaders, inventors, saints, and athletes all lived lives of discipline. Do you think they always felt comfortable? No. But they valued inner strength over outer ease, and that choice made them who they are. Let us also remember this. Comfort often postpones life, while discipline prepares you for life. When you hit the snooze button in the morning, you are saying, let me postpone my life for another 10 minutes. But when you rise with discipline, you are saying, I am ready to meet my life with strength. Even in relationships, discipline matters more than comfort. It is comfortable to avoid difficult conversations, but discipline teaches you to face them with honesty. It is comfortable to think only of yourself, but discipline teaches you to serve and care for others. Comfort may give you temporary peace, but discipline gives you lasting bonds. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Everyone dreams of a better life, but only those who walk the bridge of discipline reach it. The bridge is not easy to cross. It shakes, it feels long, it demands patience. But every step makes you stronger. On the other side lies the life you truly want. So, my dear friends, ask yourself, do I want the comfort of today or the strength of tomorrow? Do I want the pleasure of the moment or the respect of a lifetime? Each choice you make adds up. Each morning you wake up on time. Each time you push yourself to do the right thing. Each time you sacrifice comfort for discipline, you are building a stronger, wiser, more fulfilled version of yourself. The blanket may be soft, but discipline will keep your character warm forever. The bed may feel cozy, but discipline will give you the strength to rise above mediocrity. And the choice is always yours. Discipline may hurt now, but regret hurts forever. Choose wisely, choose discipline.